today's video was inspired by a viewer question, and they said, can you share some of the best Italian and Mexican restaurants in Salem?
Okay.
And so we will do that. And then we also just have a handful of other really great local restaurants.
And this is going to be Salem specifically?
In Salem. All of them are actually located in Salem specifically. And we've done shows like this before on our channel. So head over to our channel. We have all kinds of playlists about living in and moving to where we live in Oregon, but we've done other videos where we talk specifically about like where to eat. So we have a lot of food recommendations. We've never shared these ones. Before we get into it though, if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are a top producing husband and wife real estate team here in Oregon. And we work with a lot of out-of-state relocation clients, basically people like you who are watching our YouTube videos about Salem, Oregon, or just Oregon in general, and are thinking about moving to our area. So if that's you, we'd love to work with you as well. We will put our contact information below.
Believe it or not, like today's topic, for instance, just talking about restaurants and food in general, has brought clients to us from out of state. So if you guys live in Utah, Florida, Maine, Wyoming, wherever it may be across this great nation, the best nation on this earth, you might come to Salem at some point, whether it's to buy, sell, or travel here,
or to eat,
and you'll know a place to eat is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, 2 months ago, I have a client here. They just came to Oregon. They're purchasing a home for their son that's actually going to be attending Willamette University. And they say, Spence, where do you think a good Hispanic restaurant would be? And I said, well, Commercial Street's probably going to be your go-to. We're right here, 5 minutes going all the way down it. We'll get you basically to one of 4 Hispanic restaurants that I think are going to be great for you. Generally, they all kind of have the same feel, the same taste. A lot of people differ on that one, but what we did was we're able to point them in the right direction. And so without them ever even being here in Oregon, you guys now being them, you're able to see and view and Google and really create your own opinion about what restaurant's going to work for you.
As always, we'd love to hear your guys' feedback and input in the comments below. What do you think? A lot of times our listeners who are thinking about relocating to Oregon are looking at these comments. And so maybe you can help, if you do live here, help point them in the right direction if you have a restaurant that you think they should try as well. So, okay. Italian and Mexican. I'm curious if our answers will be the same.
Well,
probably not.
Something about me is I don't eat much Italian.
You don't.
I will eat it. I love it. Pasta's great. It just doesn't make me feel that good after I'm done eating it. And kind of the same with the Hispanic restaurants too.
I kind of stopped eating those. I mean, I love Mexican food. I grew up eating a lot of it, but
when I met her, it's like Mexican every meal.
But you never ate Mexican food, and so I really don't eat it as much as I used to. And then like Italian. Carnitas. Yeah, carnitas is good. Italian food, I kind of stopped eating altogether as well, just because you don't eat it, and so like you never want to go out to eat.
Is Olive Garden on this list?
No, this is local restaurant, Spencer.
That was a joke.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Italian, I'm going to say Gambaretti's is my favorite Italian restaurant. So there's not a ton of Italian restaurants in Salem that are like just Italian. Like there's restaurants you can find Italian type food there, but there's not really a ton of local restaurants. That's one thing. Like we have a lot of local restaurants, but there's not a ton of local restaurants that are Italian specific in Salem. We've got an Olive Garden, obviously, but that's not local and not the same thing.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
what's
you're
the
good.
restaurant on the same street as the Reed Opera House? It's on
DaVinci's.
the corner. Is that DaVinci's?
It is.
And is that considered Italian?
Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly where it's located, but DaVinci's is Italian, and I know it's somewhere in that area.
Okay, because
I actually think it is. Yes, I think that's where it's at.
What's going on with here in Salem, especially, is there's always usually a commercial space that opens up randomly, and sometimes it's a revolving restaurant, and it'll be there for 3 months in a year, and then next year you'll never see it again. So that's why sometimes you realize you're like, man, what's the name of that one place?
Right.
But there are, I would say, 2 to 3 good, solid Italian. I would say atmosphere is everything when it comes to these restaurants, and that's really why the majority of the people are buying and really going there. Some evenings you'll probably want to make a reservation. For instance, DaVinci's. Yeah. I would definitely be making a reservation. Your one-on-one date nights, good for not big parties, but maybe hosting a a meeting of some sort. I've seen a lot of people do that. Me personally, I would love to do that there because it's an atmosphere you can carry on a conversation with. And that's where I create value with a lot of these locations and spaces. And that's what's going to generate me to come back to them. But I'm right on top with what you're saying, though, when it comes to Italian restaurants.
DaVinci's is going to be more expensive, more of like a darker lit atmosphere, definitely more like higher class, that type of restaurant, a little bit fancier restaurant.
I would be at DaVinci's over Gambaretti's. But Gambaretti's is more of an easier sit down.
Yes. And Gambaretti's, I've gone there a lot with big groups, and I think they're a good place to go if you have like a really big group of people. They have a lot of different settings where you can sit like 20 people, just good space, I guess.
I think one year, when we were in high school, we went there going way back.
For prom.
We did that for prom. It was one of our prom meals. So there definitely is nice space there.
Yes. Okay. So this, the next question that they asked was about Mexican restaurants. So depends on the vibe, the type of Mexican food. I would say if you want just like really good, what's the word? Like comfort style Mexican food. Okay. Like big you dish. Want real, like big plates, really good beans, like just like really good tortillas, like everything's just super good. Casa Baez is going to be my favorite.
And is that the one mid-commercial by John's Car Wash?
No, it's the one that tastes like Los Baez that's not in business anymore on Lancaster, on Commercial Street, but it's on Lancaster.
You got the one on Lancaster.
The Lancaster one.
Where Toys R Us used to be, it's near the Olive Garden. Okay, so because that's the problem. There's so many good Hispanic places. Seriously, you can get lost in these names. Yeah. Share the name one more time.
Casa Baez.
And I'm 100% with Mariah. If I want a good Mexican dish,
I don't go there enough.
I'm going to go there. Mm-hmm. Their dip is better, I believe. It's more homemade, and like their salsa is great as well.
Their tortillas are my favorite.
Exactly. So it's more of that family-made feel rather than a big commercial. I just bought it at Whole Food type thing.
Mm-hmm. If you want something a little bit different, Azul's Taco House downtown is.
I'm glad you put that on.
Much different, atmosphere, different taste of, even though they're both Mexican food, different taste. But it's really good. And I don't know if it's the same business. I want to say there are two different businesses, but they are in like the same building, but there's a tap house or cider or whatever.
Yeah, they are like conjoined.
Yeah. And so it's kind of like just more of like a laid back atmosphere.
Tacos. If you're a taco guy,
really
3, 4, 6 tacos, that's where I'm going 100%. And to carry on the conversation with having, the garage doors that open up. So it's more of a seasonal place as well.
Indoor, outdoor seating.
Their atmospheres definitely do change. And then especially when something's going on downtown Salem, you'll get live music. You'll be able to hear people from the riverfront. The car traffic noise is always something of comfort. I feel like if I'm in the city, I just like hearing a bus or a siren or just the road noise in general. So it just all relates to the location once again. And what's cool with them is they do have the access for the doors to go up or down, whether we're in spring, summer, or winter. And just you're going to be comfortable there and have a great dish.
Yeah, their tacos are really, really good and just a fun atmosphere, especially if you're like last time I went there, it was with an old friend and we just like hung out for a while. And then we were able to, since it's right downtown, like walk to a couple different bars and kind of just get the feel of a few different places at once.
And I'm glad you brought that up though, because it's a very good location where you can be done with that spot, walk to your next destination you're wanting to be, whether it's bar hop in another restaurant or just go grab a cup of coffee at Archive.
And then, last Mexican place I will mention. I really like this place and I just always forget their name. It's the plate. Do you know their name? Downtown, right across the street from Salon 554, the hair salon, and Starbucks on Church Street. It's the mural.
Look for the mural. That's the location. That's the destination. It's the building with the big mural on it, and it's where the arts are performed.
The arts?
That's what I call it.
Okay.
The drama department.
Oh my gosh. It's a theater and a really beautiful theater actually. But, goodness, I wish I could remember the name. I'll have to, we'll figure out the name and we'll share it next time. Cause they're just really good. Okay.
Google will probably have a photo though of the mural that's painted on the exterior.
I mean, there's
wall.
not a ton of Mexican places downtown, honestly, besides the taco shop, like Azul's Tacos. Like, there's not a ton.
Forgive us, but you'll want to try that one out too if you're downtown.
Okay. The next one we're gonna mention is Patty's Off Center Cafe. Have you been there?
Is that where?
It's like by Center. I think it's on Center Street. That area
Patty's.
of town.
Is
But
that a
I don't.
breakfast joint?
I've never heard of it as Patty's. I always called it just Off Center Cafe.
I don't think I've been there.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I don't have much
it's
to
a
add.
breakfast joint. They have.
Is it like old retro 50s diner style?
I would say it's definitely more that style. Big portions. I don't know. Good
Cash
food.
only?
No, it's not cash only.
Okay.
We did get a comment a little bit ago asking us to elaborate more or show like exactly how to get to these places and like where the places are at. I apologize. We don't do that in our video, but I think that hopefully if you're able to take the name, if we give it to you, you can just put it in your GPS and find it because I just don't know.
Do you write the names in the description below this video, Mariah?
I can.
I would do that.
Yeah, I can. Then it will be easier. So hopefully it's not too confusing for you. But Kelly's Bar. So this one I wrote down because
This one excites me.
I'm not a big,
Yeah, we rarely
we
go
don't
out to
we don't
the bar.
really we're not really big bar hoppers personally.
It's a small bar. It's nothing special.
It's kind of like a dive bar feel.
Absolutely.
And usually I personally hate bar food. Like I'm just not a fan of fried food. Like any bar
That's
food
why
like
I'm
that
glad you're
is
on the list, though.
right. It's like not for me. However, their croissant sandwich, they have like I think it's like a BLT or club croissant sandwich or whatever.
BLT.
It is so good.
And their turkey sandwich,
Yes.
just a simple club sandwich type style.
Their croissants are fresh. They have them, I believe, from a bakery, like brought in consistently, and they're just so good.
And it's definitely one of those places, though, if no one's ever really told you about it, because
You
there's
would
so
never
many
know.
of these small little dive bar places
Right.
here in Salem, especially. It feels like they're on every corner.
Right.
I mean, you simply would never walk in. So there's one on Center Street and there's one in West Salem. I believe it's Center and 17th on that intersection.
Yeah.
And then there's one in West Salem off of Wallace.
Yeah.
So there's Wallace and then Ellendale. Is that what it is?
I think that's the street name.
I think it's Ellendale.
Yeah.
But there's two locations of Kelly's Bar and Grill, and you're definitely going to want to have the croissant sandwiches. I don't really think you're going to go wrong with any of your choices, whether it's the BLT, the Turkey Club. There might be another option. Very limited menu, but those croissants, they do not disappoint, and they are handmade. So something
good.
different, I would say, at a reasonable price. That's where I think the catch really
Definitely
is. The price
lower-
is very
yeah.
reasonable.
Definitely lower price than if you were going to go, obviously, like eat downtown somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one, this one, and like I said, we haven't chatted about any of these. These are all kind of ones that like we
we're kind
really
of aligned.
missed on our previous shows when we shared the best restaurants in Salem. But Salem just has quite a few local restaurants that are really good. This next one, I don't know if it's pronounced pho or pho.
I always forget too.
Because I've heard multiple ways. So you can let me know if you know. But simply, I'm just going to say simply pho on Commercial Street. Yeah. It's really good. It's Vietnamese. They have obviously the pho soup or the pho soup, whatever you want to call it. And they have other dishes there too that are really good. They're appetizers. What is it called? It's the, it's wrapped. It's like has vegetables and shrimp, and then it's wrapped in that like rice paper stuff, and then you dip it in the peanut sauce. It's super good.
I don't know what the name of it is, but
yeah,
I definitely know what you're talking about. This Simply Pho place is one of those places where convenience is key, right? So it's very middle of Commercial Street, so you can be in the southeast or the southeastest part of Salem and get there in a reasonable amount of time. You can order in your food. It's very comforting because everybody loves soup, right?
Yeah.
For instance, though, 2 weeks ago, Mariah and I were sitting at home and really we didn't have much food in the fridge. So we're like, what do you want? Hey, let's go to Simply Pho. So I called it in. 15 minutes later, we had our food. And their portions are rather big, but I do think it will cost you a little bit extra for a bowl of soup than you may like. Ultimately, though, you're going to want to try it because we keep coming back for more, and there's a reason.
It's really good. Okay, the next is The Yard. We have never talked about The Yard.
Yeah, and this was a new joint, 2-3 years ago?
3 years ago now?
3 years ago.
Feels like, it went by fast. Yeah. It was here during the shutdown, because I remember we went there during the shutdown and you couldn't go inside and you were stuck outside, and they had heaters, but in the middle of the winter, it was still like, I was like shivering while we were eating. They have a lot of different food cart options, and all of the ones I've tried are really good.
Yeah, I really love that Philly cheesesteak stand there. You can't really go wrong with a Philly cheesesteak. But then ultimately, I think one of the best barbecue food trucks on that side of Salem, Northeast Salem, this is where the yard is located, the Lancaster side. They have a really good barbecue food truck, if it is still there. It's been a couple months since I have walked through, because these food trucks, they do interchange sometimes and go elsewhere. But this gentleman, he moved here from Oregon. He was not originally from this side of the country, and he brought what he lived in to our state. And I just really thought that was great, and it was homemade barbecue food that I just simply desire from time to time. And so definitely something to check out, the barbecue cart at the yard.
And it basically what it is there's just a lot of food trucks surrounding this really big kind of like warehouse feel building. Yeah. It's just like a big building, and there's
massive
seating in
barn
there.
Style building.
Yeah,
dark tone wood.
Big barn style building, and then there's a bar. I'm pretty sure there is a coffee shop as well, so you can go there just for like a coffee date with your friend and not even really have to eat. But they also do I'm pretty sure they still do like trivia game nights or whatever every now and then. I've never attended, but they do things like that there. They have live music. They have a little outdoor area with some like cornhole, kind of just a fun
I was going to mention they do have like an indoor stage for Friday, Saturday night performances and things like that. So definitely where this will be a place where an event or something's happening to where it's going to be loud, it's going to be people. Yeah. So bring on the conversation and be ready to just sit, relax, kick back, have a couple beers, because there are a ton on tap, and enjoy your evening there. Okay,
is there anything that we're missing? Because that was everything.
I mean,
I have on the list.
We could talk about restaurants for days, I feel like, here in Salem. And we'll do this again. These simply are places where Mariah and I will hang out from time to time. You may see us if you're here in Oregon at one of these joints. And we have personal experiences there. And I think a big part of us as realtors, but being in this industry, is promoting local business that drives success for these individuals who run these businesses. So please, yes, it might cost $2, $3 more, but go support your local business, whether you're here in Oregon or in your state. Go be a difference and make these doors remain open, because these families really do depend on you. Okay, so I dropped, Olive Garden. I love Olive Garden, but at the same time, let's go to
it doesn't compare to how good the other places
is going to have similar but better food in general. So
it doesn't compare.
That is my word of encouragement to you guys today. And thanks for viewing today's show. If you haven't been with us the last few weeks and you wish to, and you don't want to miss out on anything, feel free to hit that subscribe button and like button, and we will drop all of these restaurants in the description below. So when you are here in Oregon or just sitting at home and want to Google it, you'll be free to look it up.
And we really one thing we don't like to do on our channel is repeat ourselves. And so we really want to just be sharing like fresh and new information every time. And so because of that, like I said earlier, we've already done previous episodes where we've shared a lot of different local restaurants and coffee shops that are really good. We've done multiple episodes, I'm pretty sure, on both. So head over to our channel and check those out if you want more recommendations, and we will see you guys next week.